Hello and good day. This is the BibleBard. A bard is a storyteller who recites traditional texts associated with a particular oral tradition, and I'm here to recite and to amplify what the literature of the Bible says about who is God and who are human beings. Here's the place we are at today. The Bible is a compilation of 66 individual books written by over 40 authors over a period of about 1,600 years, beginning about 1500 BC and ending about 100 AD. In the 39 books that form the content for the Old Testament, different persons, people groups, nations, and empires, different religions and philosophies all march past the reader. The content for the Old Testament was composed during the rise and fall of the historic empires of the past, Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, among others. This podcast answers the question, how was the text of the Bible actually composed? Let's look at several places where we have particular answers to this question. In the book Jeremiah, chapter 36, verses 1 through 4, we have an example of some of the biblical text being spoken by one and written down by another. The text reads, quote, "In the 4th year of Jehoiakim, son of Josiah, king of Judah, this word came to Jeremiah from the Lord. Take a scroll and write on it all the words I have spoken to you." So Jeremiah called Baruch, son of Neriah, and while Jeremiah dictated all the words the Lord had spoken to him, Baruch wrote them on the scroll. End quote. In another example of direct writing, this time by one person themselves of some biblical text, we see in Jeremiah 51, verses 59 through 61, the following text. Quote, "This is the message Jeremiah gave to the staff officer, Seraiah, son of Neriah, the son of Mahasariah, when he went to Babylon with Zedekiah, king of Judah, in the 4th year of his reign. Jeremiah had written on a scroll about all the disasters that would come upon Babylon. He said to Seraiah, 'When you get to Babylon, see that you read all these words aloud.'" We have another example in the New Testament where we have right in the beginning of the book of Luke an explanation of how it came to be written. In Luke chapter 1, verses 1 through 4, the writer explains the creation of this text. He says, quote, "Many have undertaken to draw up an account of the things that have been fulfilled among us, just as they were handed down to us by those who from the first were eyewitnesses and servants of the word. Therefore, since I myself have carefully investigated everything from the beginning, it seemed good also to me to write an orderly account for you, so that you may know the certainty of the things you have been taught." Unquote. These three examples are sufficient to illustrate several ways the text of the Bible came to be written. How the various texts came to be included, arranged, and organized into the book we have today is another story. But today, let's focus on the writing of any discrete part of any particular book. Our three examples that we've just seen illustrate three of the ways the text of the Bible was created. First, God spoke directly to a person who dictated what God told him or her to another who was listening and wrote down what was said. Second, God spoke directly to a person and they wrote down what he said and gave the writing to another. Copies were carefully made of this material. Third, a person, in this case Luke, decided to provide an account of what he knew of events, either by reference to other materials or persons, or by first-hand personal experience. The knowledge he had about God, Jesus Christ, historical events, or other occurrences he felt his audience needed to know. Now, regarding the dissemination of the text, copies were made. Here's an illustration of one way that happened. In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verses 18 and 19, regarding the making of biblical copies, here's an instruction to a new king. Quote, "When he, a new king, takes the throne of his kingdom, he is to write for himself on a scroll a copy of this law, taken from that of the priests who are Levites. It is to be with him, and he is to read it all the days of his life. In our three examples, notice the specific dating of the writing. Jeremiah provides the specific year of the reign of a king in which God spoke to him. The text in Luke relates to these events to kings, political leaders, and even Roman world people and places. Using this information, we can accurately date the writing. This is important because of many of the prophecies of future events contained in the text. For example, in the second text from Jeremiah, the prophecies are about, quote, disasters that would come upon Babylon, unquote. Bible believers point to the fulfillment in time of these predictions as proof that God above, who sees the past, present, and future of human events all at the same time, gave this message to these people. Scoffers, of course, who do not believe in the supernatural, say that the many Bible prophecies made at one date were, and later specifically fulfilled at a future date, are simply lies. In effect, they think that Bible redactors who lived after a prophesied event went back and edited the text to post-date the predictions so that it would appear that there was a supernatural communication. Most classes in religion continue to promulgate this speculation as fact in our universities. This would be an enormous conspiracy theory that would have had to occur over many human generations during the 1600-year writing period of the Bible. Editors from many generations would, without knowing each other, have had to seize on hundreds of texts, change hundreds of copies of Bible components spread across the known world to make such a conspiracy successful. If you do not believe in the supernatural, this is a convenient way to account for occurrences in history that clearly appear to be supernatural. Upon reading the text, though, every reader of the Bible has to make a decision about the truthfulness of the text. Did Jesus truly heal a leper by touching him? See Luke chapter 4, verse 12. Did Jesus heal a paralytic who was carried into him before a great crowd? See Luke chapter 5, verse 24. Did Jesus raise the dead? See Luke chapter 7, verses 14 and 15. Did Jesus drive a demon out of a man who was mute, who later spoke? See Luke chapter 11, verse 14. Jesus' opponents, the Pharisees, witnessed these events, the text states, but they did not want to attribute them to the work of God because that would validate the teachings of Jesus. So they said, for example, in Luke chapter 11, verse 15, when they tried to account for the supernatural nature of the actions of Jesus, quote, by Beelzebub, the prince of demons, he, Jesus, is driving out demons, unquote. The opponents of Jesus in his lifetime had to acknowledge the supernatural nature of his healings, but instead of acknowledging that God did it, they attributed Jesus' healings to the work of anti-God, the devil. Of course, this maneuver doesn't help the modern-day scoffer because it still acknowledges the supernatural. If there is a devil, why can't there also be a God? And most of all, if there is a supernatural, why can't the Bible's account of it be true? This is the way the BibleBard works. Brief recitations, closely focused, no distractions, no rabbit trails. Send the BibleBard any questions or remarks you care to offer to BibleBardUS@gmail.com. Glad to hear from you. Thanks in advance for following and sharing content from the BibleBard community. Thanks for listening. The BibleBard does not get information about Jesus from religion or some theology people have developed in the past. The Bible itself, in its plain literary expressions, in its text, is the source of all revealed knowledge about God. We're archaeologists trying to get to that source. Once you know what the Bible says, because you have read it or heard its clear teaching for yourself, you are no longer dependent on religious ideology for your information. Get what the Bible says.